Okay. Hey guys, so I know no one's on the live yet. Yesterday I was supposed to do a live which I was gonna talk about what I'm talking about on here, but I didn't get to because the time that I scheduled to go live, I expected to be home with nothing to do, and I fully intended to be ready for that live, but I wasn't because I didn't look at the time, and the time when I was gonna go live at like 3 o'clock yesterday, I was at Home Depot getting some parts for the Jeep, so I wasn't actually able to go live because of that. So first I wanted to apologize for that. Anybody who was here for that live was sitting in the party chat probably for 30 minutes waiting for me or whatever. Rumor has it that you all were talking about George Washington or something. I don't know what that was about. I wasn't here for that. But first of all, I wanted to apologize for that. Well, I did have some updates I wanted to talk about, and I was going to do that on that live, but because I didn't get to, I made a video where I talked about those updates and stuff, and I was going to have that uploaded around this time this morning, but after I looked over it, I didn't really like it, so I decided I was just going to do this live instead, and just, you know, basically say the same thing, because it was just going to be an unedited video of me talking about some updates that are going on and stuff. So, hang on, Kai's barking at me. Hey. Turn. You wanna come inside? Come on. Come on. Okay, I'm streaming, okay? So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna keep it open if you wanna come inside, okay? You can't be a pickle. Okay, so, what I wanted to talk about though was the road trip, because I know that, you wanna say hi to the camera? I know that the road trip was supposed to restart a long time ago. It was never my plan to be here this long, but it was just kind of one thing after another. After I got the gears done, I supposedly needed to fix this and that. And while I was here, I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna get a roof rack built, because I had been wanting a roof rack for a while, and it was just going to be so convenient if I had the roof rack on. So while I was here, I was like, I'm just gonna get the roof rack done, and I just got that done a couple days ago, and I think that even though it delayed starting the road trip again, long term, it was probably the best decision. So now that I have that on, I am almost ready to start the trip, but there's still a couple things I need to knock out. I still need to fix the linkage for the four-wheel drive, so I'll actually have four-wheel drive, and I want to make it like a permanent fix. So I want to make sure I can get it fixed and not have to deal with it ever again. And then on top of that, I still need to change the fluid in my differentials. I hate gasket, so I'm kind of like holding that off, kind of being lazy, because I really hate having to deal with gasket and stuff, and I don't want to have to do all that work and then have oil leaking out my differentials. So I'm kind of being lazy on that one, but I have to get a couple more things done. But on top of that, I have a lot of things coming in for the rack and stuff, and I still need to paint it. So I need to sand that whole thing off and paint it and get that all knocked out. And I'm being delayed too because I need to paint the rack, and I don't have a garage to work in because the Jeep won't fit in our garage, so I couldn't get it in there if I wanted to. And it keeps raining because there's that storm right now, that hurricane, and it's not hitting us hard. We don't have much more than just minor rain spills, but it's still hitting us hard enough that we're getting rain and a little bit of storm, so I can't do that much right now because it's raining. I'm trying to just knock out anything I can, and I would, right now the plan is to be ready by next week. I wanted to be ready this week, but I think probably next week on Saturday, that might be the launching date. Unless something comes up, it should only take me that long to get all this done. There's a lot of updates though. I did update my my bio, so if you look down in the description below, I updated everything on there. If you go down there, I have added pretty much everything I have as far as gear for the Jeep, for camera equipment, or even just like my knife and stuff. I have a list of all the stuff I use. Like, this is my survival knife, so if you're curious what this knife is, I have that link down below. You know, my pocket knife, the camera I use, all that stuff, even the tires I use on my Jeep, my bumper, the roof rack, all those things are listed in the description below. So if you've ever been curious about any of those things, it's down in the description. I have every category listed, and for anything that you see that I'm using that I don't have listed, just tell me what it is and I'll be sure to get it on there. I mean, I can only remember so much, and I tried to list everything that I had on there, but up until this point I haven't really done that, so I just went off my memory and tried to think of everything I own that anyone would be interested in knowing about and putting it down in the description. I saw that I got a comment. I'll answer those in a minute in case you're curious. So, sorry. Another thing that I want to update is I finally made merch. So I have a couple plans to make some more interesting things, but right now I have made one official design and I have that uploaded. It's basically just my glasses. I really wanted to get something with my glasses in there, so I made some t-shirts and actually pillows. I don't know why, I thought the pillow looked so cool, and I actually ordered one of those for myself. But there's t-shirts, pillows, baby t-shirts, kid t-shirts, what else did I put it on? Coffee mugs. I think I put it on coffee mugs. I don't know why I wouldn't. And a couple other things with like my sunglasses and my name, Life of Trevor, on those. And I've had a couple other people suggest different equipment, or not equipment, different designs. And I have a few ideas for future designs, but I need to get my Jeep pictured and stuff so I can start to get to work on those. So until my Jeep is out there, I can't really get those, but I do have some merchandise. If you're curious about that, that is down below. I also set up a GoFundMe if anyone's interested in sponsoring me, but they don't really have the ability to support me on Patreon. I have a GoFundMe now, so literally every penny counts. I mean, I have 1,000 subscribers, and I was thinking about this the other day. If every single one of my subscribers sent me $1, like just $1, which is not that much, but with 1,000 subscribers, that's $1,000 right there. So when I say every dollar count, I literally mean just $1 from you guys really would help support me. If anybody wants to help with that, I have a GoFundMe, I have a Patreon, and then if nothing else, if you just go buy one of the merchandise I make, one of my shirts or something, that also helps support me. Even just buying a sticker, I get a little bit of the funds from that. So anything you can do helps. If you just want to send me something maybe you made or something you drew, fan mail, pretty much any fan mail, I have a place now you can send that. I have the address down below, so if you want to write me a letter or anything, you know, I don't know, whatever kind of stuff, if you want to send me anything, there is now a place you can do that. I have that listed down in the description, so if you just go to that address that says fan mail, and you write that down, you can send me whatever you want. I mean, I'll look over it, and I would really like to do a mail time, you know, just do fan mail, unboxing, or opening, or whatever. Any of that would be really fun. So anything you want to send me, you know, like get a box maybe and put a thing of toilet paper in there, and then just send that to me, and then I'll open it live, and everybody can see that you sent me a roll of toilet paper. Whatever you want to do, that would be awesome. What else is there? I got the merch, the description. I think that's pretty much it. I think that's everything I wanted to list. I just wanted to update you guys on what's going on and, you know, basically what the plan is from here. I need to get a lot of the work done on the Jeep, and I would hopefully, if it stops raining, I can get it knocked out. I really wanted to paint the rack today or yesterday or anytime soon. I have the paint ready for it. I just need to sand it and paint it, and I'm just waiting for the rain to go down. But after I get that done, I just gotta knock out these last two things, I think, and maybe tidy up some stuff, make sure I have everything packed up, and I should be ready to get back on the road. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to the comments now, and okay. First question, are you coming to Oregon? I would love to come to Oregon. It's just I don't know when that's going to happen. I've heard good things about it. There's a lot of places, though. I keep like hearing new things. Like Jeff lived in Arizona for a long time, so he knows a lot about the places in Arizona. So he was telling about all these places in Arizona. And then I just like Utah, Idaho, Montana, Washington. Like I've heard good things about many places on the west side. I mean, there's a lot of places I want to see, so it's kind of, I'm going to have to start planning better before I leave. That's another thing. I'm hoping to have like a better plan of where I'm going before I leave on this trip, and then schedule that a little bit better. So I'm kind of working out those details, but haven't got there yet. Okay, I can hear my echo in my parents' room. Be coming to Maine. I will be trying to go to everywhere. I just don't have an exact plan yet. So anywhere I plan on going, I do plan on going pretty much everywhere from, you know, Texas to Hawaii, but it's just a matter of like when I get there. So we'll see. I will try to keep everyone updated on when and where I'm going certain places. coming to East Coast, Pennsylvania. Probably. Just, that's kind of on the other direction, but at some point. Mom wants to know why we're just cheering about the mailbox address. Because I just updated it, like, the other day. I'm in Home Depot parking lot, just bought something before Shackles, just got notified of the stream. I just started the stream, I didn't really schedule this one, because I didn't want to forget it. Oregon is beautiful, I can show you some awesome places locals only know about. That's really cool, actually, because that's something I try to do is, like, know about places, because there's a lot of, like, hidden gems in most places, I think, that only locals would know about, and, like, I know that that's something I want to do. I tried to do that in Idaho Springs, but the only, like, place there, I guess, was St. Mary's Glacier. Everywhere else was, like, there's nothing there. Hello. Okay. I moved all my dad's desk stuff in here because after I move out, I'm actually using his desk right now because my brother took my old desk and I put all his office stuff in here. So it'd be out of our kitchen because our kitchen, it's a weird design, but it has like a desk on the counter. And so we swapped what was the kitchen desk into here. So this will be like my dad's office, but I put all his stuff in here. So now he's having to get stone paper. So yeah. So if you hear shuffling, that's what that is. Mom wants to go to Broken Bow, Oklahoma with you. Oh yeah. Well, you can. That's literally like the closest thing. That could be like the first place we go before I leave or something. Good to hear. You're excited to be. Also, Mom's using your name in the chat. Good to hear from you. Excited to be. I gotta listen to myself.
She's gonna ask you when you're gonna play something.
Oh, hey, Chris. I just realized that it took me a second to process. The guy who was living in his TJ with his girlfriend and his friends. Yeah, that was him.
With his girlfriend and friends?
Yeah, he had 4 people, and then they got a dog.
Inside the TJ?
Yeah. I think they'd set up a tent, though, to sleep, so.
Oh.
So they weren't, like... But, yeah, but, like, he was doing, like, open doors and everything. Oh. They got all the way to... I think they just drove near Texas. I know they drove through Kansas. I don't remember how far it went, but, yeah. And then they got a puppy.
Stay on the east side.
Yeah, that's what he said. He was actually saying... He made...
East side's beautiful. I mean,
on the east side of Kansas?
Mm-hmm. Especially if you go up like to Eureka and all that, where all the
yeah, but that's like on the far east side. But compare that to Colorado, though.
Or Montana.
Well, he just drove through Colorado. It was just flat and it was awful. Driving from Colorado to as soon as you leave Denver, the whole drive through Kansas is just awful.
That's pretty much for Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, all that. The whole east side is the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Flat, Iowa's the same way.
Georgia to Zion, Idaho, Utah. Is that how far you went? Is that what Zion, Georgia to Zion? You need to update me when you get back on the road, though, so we can try to meet up. Since did you drive all the way back to California, or I'm assuming he bought a puppy from a homeless person, so and then he stopped updating. So I was like, did something happen? And I forgot. Apparently, the puppy can't travel with him because it's just a little pit bull.
It can't be like a Zoom chat, so all you guys can talk on them.
A Zoom chat? Yeah, but then it wouldn't be live on YouTube.
But you guys can all video call each other.
That's just Instagram Live.
That'd be fun, though.
I used the Garmin Expedition rack on my TJ and got rid of it. I'm curious about the static weight of your Smitty belt. Static weight, you mean like when it's not moving, it's 300 pounds. And I haven't found any information on this, but I read somewhere that when you're moving or when you're driving it, the max weight capacity is like 150 pounds. I don't know how accurate those statistics are, but I'm just going to not put 300 pounds up there. I don't think I'm going to exceed 150 pounds probably with my weight anyway. I'm not going to measure it though, but just like having it that top heavy, I'm going to try to make sure most of the storage is just going to be like clothes and other things. Try not to put too much weight up there. It might exceed 150 pounds, but that's kind of going to be the strength test. I don't actually know for sure. We're going to test it because we modified it, so it's going to be a little bit stronger than the factory. And if you didn't see that video, you can see how we took this Smitty belt and modified it for like a budget rack build. And theoretically, it should work good. What are you doing? It sounded like he was flicking something. Where was I? So yeah, I don't actually know exactly the details on the rack. It's probably going to be very similar to the Garvin. I don't really have a Garvin to compare it to, but most of the things that the people complained about the rack was strictly the fact that it shakes a lot. And from what I can tell with the bracket we added on, that eliminated it, because I could grab the back of the Jeep and shake and pull it, and the whole Jeep will shake with the rack. It won't actually just shake the rack. Where before, when we didn't have that bracket, if I shook the rack would shake a little bit before there was a little bit of slack in the rack where you could just shake it and the Jeep wouldn't move. So now it's like all bolted together, and I think it can probably handle a good 200 pounds or so without having to worry about it. Theoretically, I don't know how to test that actually. It's gonna be a field test, so hopefully nothing bad happens. I wish the chat would just stay up. It always like, I think I'm pressing the wrong button. I used the Garmin. My puppy has her last vet appointment on Tuesday, and then I'll be able to take her with me. She's a lab pit mix. I have a Garvin rack, and it's been great. I'm really excited to see your rack in person. That's awesome. The puppy's little. I was sure it was part pit bull, but I didn't know it was part lab. I actually just saw some lab pit bulls the other day, and they're pretty cute dogs. I used to really want a lab, and then I started doing research on dogs, and then I really wanted a pit bull, and then my dad didn't want me to get a pit bull, and I don't know how the mix happened, but somehow I ended up with a husky, which is a little difficult for traveling. I'd rather have something a little smaller and less hyper, but oh well.
He fit you.
He stuck with me, so like I don't have a choice. I have to take him with me. Yeah, I know.
He acts like you.
It's like having a child on this trip. Like I can't just work around. I have to like work around him. I can't just do what I want and get him to do it with me, because huskies are very independent minded. Most dogs aren't. Most dogs are very dependent on their owners, and huskies aren't. So, oh well. Also, yeah, the Garvin, I've heard a lot of good things about the Garvin. I'm sure most people have. If I had the money for it, I would have just bought that. But since I didn't, I decided we were going to have fun with my rack. And I think it turned out great, actually. Having a custom rack, I think it really adds to the custom features. So it's really cool to have a rack no one else has. But if I would have had, you know, like the $1,200, $1,400, I would have just bought a Garvin. Okay. I took rails off a Ford Explorer and modified them to mount directly to the hardtop. My Garvin did shake, but it held a ton of weight. I'll look into a Smitty build to modify. Yeah, so for my personal, what I could figure out, I was trying to figure out what made the Smitty belt so inferior to the other brands, aside from just the way they look, because a lot of people don't like how bulky they look, which I can kind of see that. It's not a huge deal to me, but I think the thing that really made it not hold up as well is there's so much traveling distance from the rear to the top. The front is fine. The front is like super sturdy, but the rear, it like travels from the bumper all the way to the roof, and there's no connections before that. And I noticed that on the other higher end brands, there's a bracket that runs from the rack bar to the tub of the vehicle, so you have that extra support. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's not sturdy, but you know, you don't want your rack shaking around while you're driving. And it's kind of like, I described it as almost like a flagpole. Like a flagpole is in the ground, it's not going to come out, but a kid can still run up to a flagpole and shake it, and it's still going to shake. And it's not because it's not sturdy, it's just because there's a pole, and even though it's in the ground, it has all that room to travel and flex. Now, if there was a bracket connected, just a light bracket connected to that flagpole halfway through and connected to a building, you wouldn't be able to shake it as well. So what I ended up doing was I took a bracket and we welded that onto the side of the frame, and then we stuck that over to the tub of the Jeep, and Jeff had the idea of actually screwing it into the light so we wouldn't have to tap any more holes into the tub. So we just took out the tail lights and drilled 3 holes and put the light behind it, and that way you wouldn't have to cut into your Jeep. And at the end of the day, it's so far, I haven't had any issues with it. I haven't technically put any weight on it. I still have my crates coming in, so I can start packing stuff up and putting them inside, but for the most part, it feels like it's not gonna have any issues. So really happy with that design. And also, if you want to see how that was made, if you're good at fabricating stuff, I can try to get a better picture of it. And another thing is Jeff still has the cardboard cutout for that, and if anybody wants to see or wants to have that bracket, basically, we were talking about maybe seeing if he can design more of those and sell those, but you know, he doesn't want to do that unless people are actually interested. So if anyone's actually interested in buying that bracket so they can modify their roof rack, he was even thinking of trying to design it so you wouldn't have to weld it on, because not very many people have welders. So he was thinking of designing a bolt-on bracket that would strengthen your roof rack the same way we did it. That way you don't have to cut anything into your Jeep, and you don't have to worry about not having a welder. So if anyone's interested in that, let me know and I can see what I can work out with him. What else is there? Live chat. Do you plan? Oh yes, I got Puppy Kai because my mom's friend gave me the second pick of the litter, which worked out because I wanted him anyway. I picked him out, and then I found out that I got second pick, and they didn't pick the one I wanted, so I don't know why I picked you. You were just the cutest Puppy Kai. Yep. Okay, where do you plan on going? Which state? Which order do you know? I want to go back to Colorado for sure. I didn't want to leave as soon as I did, but I had to because of the gears on the Jeep. I was gonna end up rolling down a mountain or something, or just breaking something. So I was like, I need to get these gears modified, and I expected to get it modified and like right after vacation go right back. I didn't expect to be gone this long. I planned on only being gone for a week or two, and so now it's been like over a month. So I was going to try to hit Oklahoma just a little bit, kind of stay there for a while and knock out a couple things. Maybe just stay in Oklahoma for about a week or so. I can't think of anything in Oklahoma I'd really love to see. I might go to Kansas, or I might just drive right past it. I don't know, and we'll just call it good, say I visited it, because I can't think of anything in Kansas that's too amazing without going on the east side. So I might hold off on Kansas, because right after that I want to go right back to Colorado. I almost said California. I want to go right back to Colorado, and I want to go through there, and then after I get done with Colorado, I want to hit the either Utah or Idaho, and then kind of take it as I go, because I know it's going to start getting really cold really soon. And once it starts cooling off, I want to hit some of the hotter places, because I don't have the ability to freeze out in the Jeep yet. I still need like a 0-degree sleeping bag, so I'm not comfortable driving around when it's 0 degrees yet, so I'm going to try to hit warmer places this winter. I don't have an exact plan from there. The plan is mostly first to hit Colorado, and then once I'm done with there, start figuring out where I want to go after that. Definitely Colorado though. The chat's having issues. There we go. Okay, you should do a kayak camping trip video before you leave. I should get a kayak before I leave. That's what I should do. I really want to get a kayak that I can mount on top of the Jeep, but I'm having trouble finding them right now. Most of them are sold out. The new ones are sold out, especially the cheaper ones. I can only find like those $1,000 fishing motorized kayaks, and then even used, I'm having trouble finding one I like. Because I wanted to get the sit-in kind, because those are usually smaller and shorter, and sometimes they're cheaper. But I kind of need to get the open kind so Kai can go with me, because I don't have the luxury of just being able to hop in a kayak and go anywhere. I have to take Kai with me. And then on the flip side, I'm kind of worried because the first time I ever took Kai kayaking, he fell out and he totally freaked out. And so I'm kind of worried that he won't want to go with me, and then I'll just have a kayak that I can't use. But I would like to get a kayak. I actually would think it'd be really cool to have a kayak to just take out on the lake anytime I stop anywhere with water. Will I be able to easily remove the top? I will be able to remove the top, but I'm gonna have to like unscrew those brackets. So there's 3 bars that go across the rack, and we're mounting the basket on top of those 3 bars, so they should just unscrew. And then after I unscrew all those, I should be able to get to the roof. Sorry, my brain can't process right now. I should be able to get on top to the hard top, but it's just going to be a little bit more work than usual. But I can still take it off. It's just not going to be as easy to access. Next. Words. Check out Exploragen and give me some pointers. As soon as the fire dangers drops, I'll be adding off-road and shooting, cave exploration, all kinds of stuff. All right, I'll be sure to do that. So yeah, 25 minutes in. We made the mistake, or I didn't make the mistake. My dad made the mistake of getting like cheap coffee, and then he went back to the Silver Grizzly, which they make their coffee fresh. And like now he understands why I can't drink like anything. Like I can drink cheap coffee, it's just not preferable because I usually use a pour over. And then I got like the Silver Grizzly, and like the package says like green apple caramel and something, and my dad was like, that just sounds weird. I'm like, no, I promise it's good. And so he got it, and now he's like, I really like it. And because coffee actually is a fruit pit, it's not actually a bean. Like people are like, it's coffee bean, it's a bean. It's not a bean, that's just the name of it. It's not actually a bean, it's actually a fruit pit that they roast, and then after you roast it, you grind it and you make it into coffee. So coffee isn't actually supposed to be as bitter as most people drink it. It's actually supposed to have a lot more of a sweet taste, and most high-end coffee usually has more of a fruity taste. And the Silver Grizzly specifically emphasizes that. Like all their coffee has a nice fruity taste to it, and I don't know how to describe it. It's fruity, but like when you think of coffee, fruity isn't usually what you think of. And so when people yeah, when I first was there, like when I was first trying their coffee and stuff, like I didn't know how to describe it, but it does have like a fruity taste, and it's like really, really good. Like Silver Grizzly, I can probably drink their coffee without cream or sugar. Like it is that good. And like you compare that to like Folgers or something, Folgers is nasty. So when I say I drink, anytime I ask someone if they drink coffee and they tell me no, I'm like, okay, but like, are we talking, like, have you ever had actually real coffee, or are you like thinking of Folgers? Because like if you're thinking of Folgers, I couldn't drink it either. But if we're talking like real coffee, that I can drink like all day. The Northern Explorer. Hey, Northern Explorer. I need to like memorize who some of these people are, because like I feel like I follow some of these people or talk to some of these people on Instagram or something, and then like their information will change on different platforms. I'm trying to learn my community, because I know I have a very small but steady community. I know I talked to some of you guys, and I'm trying to learn who like everybody on here is. You should get one of the portable French presses. I bought one with me on my trip. My girlfriend and I were both baristas, so coffee was a priority. Oh yes, coffee is definitely a priority for me. I actually got like, it's not a Pelican case, it's like the Harbor Freight Pelican case. And I actually cut out an insert so I can put my French press in, not my French press, my pour over in there. But I have been thinking about just getting, I have a French press actually, but I think it's kind of old. Or wore out at least, because I did used to make a French press coffee a lot. So I'm thinking about going to TJ Maxx, because they sell the Bodums there for like $20-$30, I think. They're usually cheaper at TJ Maxx. So I was thinking about going and getting another French press. I also want to get a grinder, because I want to get fresh beans so it'll last longer, and then grind it. That way it'll taste fresher when I make it. Usually I don't have that issue, because when I go to the Silver Grizzly, they fresh grind it there, and it lasts about a week, and I drink it in about a week, so I usually works out long term. But I want to get a grinder so I can grind my coffee on the trip. The issue I was running into though is when I take the coffee with me, I need to start putting it in the cooler, because right now what happens is I put it in the Jeep and it gets hot, and then it gets bad, and I can't drink it when it tastes bad. So I need to find a better coffee process for the Jeep. But yes, I've been thinking about doing French press. I think I've tried every single version of coffee that you can possibly learn to make, aside from Cowboys coffee, you know, like when you like put it in a little bag or whatever and you just brew it while it's in there. But every other way of coffee I've tried making, so I know like all the different coffee making things, but I can't live without it. I have to have coffee on my trip. I just would like to find a better way to be able to make it while like in the Jeep, because right now the way I've been splurging coffee is by going to local coffee shops and stuff, but it's really hard because of the pandemic and stuff, especially because I like to try to go to coffee places to edit videos and stuff, and it's hard to do that when there's a lot of places that aren't open or only have drive-through, so it's a little bit hard. It's definitely a lot harder than originally when I planned this whole trip. So yeah, also when I planned this whole trip, I didn't consider having my dog with me, so I was gonna leave him here, but my mom said no. What you're doing, your road trip will be epic. Thanks, man. I'm really hoping to get back on the road trip really soon, because right now I'm stagnant, but I really hope to get back on the road trip soon, and then I'll love it too. Have you looked into the lithium battery boxes? I don't think so, because I actually don't know what that is, so you can solar charge them. That would be convenient. The lithium solar, are you talking about those, the like boxes that, they're like kind of like a battery, but you have like charging stations on them? The kind that you solar I think I know it. I'm trying to think of the brand. It's like an orange and gray box, and you can like plug a USB or like an outlet into them, and then you can charge them. If that's what you're talking about, then yes. Thank you, Nana, for the coffee addiction. Yes, technically we can blame my grandma, because at the end of the day, that's probably where I got my coffee addiction. When we were little, she used to make us like, it wasn't really coffee, it was like milk with some coffee in it and probably sugar, and that's what we would drink. So it was like coffee flavored milk, but we loved it, or I loved it. I don't remember. I know I loved it. I don't remember if my siblings loved it, but I loved that so much. Like, that was like every time we'd go down to our grandma's house, that was the treat. So we'd go down to Nana's house, we got to have coffee, or what we thought was coffee. And I remember like being addicted to that then. And then I remember when Starbucks was a thing, like anytime my dad would get like a Frappuccino or something, I wanted to try that. And rarely would I. I remember even like, because my dad used to be a youth pastor, when they would go down to like McDonald's and stuff, and the teenagers would get a Frappuccino, I always wanted one. Like, I remember always wanting one of the Frappuccinos, and like I was never allowed to have coffee because whatever about it being unhealthy for kids or whatever. And so then when I finally started being allowed to, I would drink it excessively, to the point my dad told me I had to drink less of it, mostly because it was expensive. Because I would drink probably a couple dollars worth of like Keurig cups a day, and now I can hardly drink Keurig cups because that's disgusting. But I drink a lot of coffee. That's the history of how I drink coffee all the time, every day, pretty much. Yep. How's the Jeep now? The Jeep is fantastic. If you missed a couple of the newer videos, it currently has a roof rack. It needs a couple more repairs, but it is looking better than it's ever looked before. And I haven't said this in the video yet, at least I don't think I have, but I finished my Expedition bumper. So the LOD Off-Road Expedition bumper usually has a cooler rack over the tire, and then it has 2 jerry can mounts on the side. Well, when I bought the rack, when I bought the tailgate, I couldn't afford all that, so I just bought the gate itself and decided I'm going to buy the accessories for it in the future if I'm able to. I'm going to buy the accessories in the future if I'm able to afford it. And so recently I decided I'm going to order the jerry can mounts on the side. So I have both my water jerry cans on the side of the tailgate, and so that I got those out of the Jeep. So now I have more space in the Jeep, and I have most of my heavy stuff on the outside of the Jeep. So that helps. You can probably see that actually in the video I made, but I didn't mention it. So I just wanted to say that because it looks fantastic. Really excited about that. Okay, what else is there? But yes, it's doing great. It just needs a little bit more work. I mentioned this earlier in the videos, but if you weren't here, I need to fix the 4-wheel drive linkage, change the differential fluid, and paint the rack. And then I think that's everything. I might need to change the oil in the Jeep, but that's easy. And then it should be ready to go back on the road. A large case from Sam's in a week, 100 pounds in a week. Sam's. Oh, Sam's Club. Yeah, he'd buy coffee from Sam's Club, so. I saw you got the rack. I haven't had time to watch it. Yeah, that was really, I got the rack, this mini built rack, and then I had a friend of mine fabricate like a basket for it, And then we also got a ladder on it and a couple other things, brackets to make it stronger. So the rack is looking great. The Jeep is doing great. Needs to little bit more work to get it all knocked out. But yeah, rack is doing good. Any more questions? Actually, it's getting to the over 30 mark. So I try not to do. I did a live stream one time for like an hour, but I feel like that is a little excessive. So I try to keep it just under an hour now. I just got a Jeep too, a WJ. WJs are awesome, as I have children, but I love a YJ. They look awesome. I like to say that if I had children, I'd toss them in the YJ, but honestly, realistically, it does not fit children well. I kind of bought an XJ one time. I say kind of because I paid half for it and I did the work on it and stuff, but that's actually my brother's Jeep now. That's definitely a lot better for family settings, but yeah, and I'm trying to get, I actually tried to convince my dad to even get a WJ because they have full coil spring suspension, and then you can get the V8 option too, and like they're just pretty, I think they're highly underrated vehicles, because if you get a four-wheel drive WJ, they can kick butt. Like they're pretty sweet. Even the XJ, like I've taken it off-road myself, and then me and my brother went to Barnwell, and I mean his Jeep could do everything my Jeep could do, and it only has like a 2-inch lift on it. So they're pretty awesome. I really like the WJs and the XJs. A lot of respect for those little guys. Also, like, debatably, apparently, I didn't know this, but there's actually people out there that would prefer an XJ over a YJ. Like, people have actually bought YJs and then bought XJs and claim that the XJ's better, and that's not true, but I can definitely see how somebody could prefer it over it. There is a lot of pros to it. They definitely have, the coil suspension definitely is a lot better than the leaf suspension on the YJ. Oh, what am I doing? There we go. Where's the next date? Next date is going to be Oklahoma, probably for about a week before I drive back to Colorado. So I'll send a picture on Instagram. That's super. Come with a kit, you can make it yourself for cheaper. I would like to make a solar setup of some kind, so be sure to do that, and I'll look at it. Yeah, UK. So, wait, they had a diesel option? I didn't know. Was that only in the UK? Because I never heard of a diesel option WJ. Google's not working fast enough. Diesel, Jeep. My computer's suddenly deciding it doesn't want to be fast anymore. What happened? It froze. Okay, Google froze. I think Photoshop is killing my computer. I never even knew there was a diesel WJ. That's crazy. I'll be sure to check out your channel after I end the live stream. Do you know that they made a WJ diesel?
What?
The Grand Cherokee. A diesel Grand Cherokee.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Now I know. That's actually kind of awesome.
I'm watching your live stream liver than other people are watching it live. Because there's stream lag by like 5 seconds.
I'll be doing a walk around next week before I start money. All right, that sounds good. I'll be sure to check out your channel because that's really interesting. So are you gonna be like camping it in and stuff, or are you just trying to make it like a, like just for off-roading and stuff? I think I've heard that before. I know that a lot of like sedans. I didn't know people didn't know this, but like, you know, the Mercedes diesel sedans and stuff. I actually drove one time. It was like a 2007 Mercedes C whatever sedan. It was like ugly blue and it had a diesel engine in it, and it was like the coolest thing ever because it felt like a truck, but it was a car, and I loved it. I had a lot of torque. That was fun to drive. I used to work for a dealership, so I got to drive around a lot of pre-owned cars, and that was probably one of my favorites. Just, it was like kind of an ugly car, but it was like diesel sedan. I liked driving it. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So diesel is the best option. That sounds good. I'm probably going to end this live, though, because we're getting to about 40 minutes. I'm going to be sure to check out that WJ. So just before I leave, for anybody who missed it, the update to the beginning, I plan on getting, long story short, I plan on getting back on the road by the end of next week. That's the plan. I have merchandise in the link down below. If you check down below and want to check that out, I'll be making more soon, but that's going to be the main link for any merchandise I make. I'll update you guys when I make new merchandise. If you want to send me fan mail, down below is the address to send me mail. I'll be sure to get it if you just send it to that address down below. And if you want to support me, every dollar counts. I have a GoFundMe and a Patreon. That's going to be all for today. Thank you guys for tuning into this live stream. And sorry again that I missed the one yesterday. I'll be sure to like not completely forget about them from now on. And I'll be making more videos soon.